it's me, Allie, just in case you didn't miss my last uploads. So today for my how-to video, I'll be showing you guys how to make blackberry lavender champagne cocktails. Alright, so first things first, we want to gather all of our ingredients. So you need half a cup of pure maple syrup. I like to use some of the locally farmed maple syrups just because I like to support some of our local farmers, and it just tastes better in my opinion. And then next, you'll also need a quarter cup of vodka. I just use the plain old vodka. Just adds a little bit extra kick to the drinks. And then you'll also need half a teaspoon of lavender. I use the lavender paste just because it's hard to find sprigs of lavender at this time of year. So what you want to do is for every 1 tablespoon of fresh lavender, I just cut it in half to 1 teaspoon for the dried stuff, and then a little bit less again to do the paste because it's a little concentrated. And then you'll also need 1 cup of blackberries. 1 package usually equals about 1 cup. So first things first, you want to take a pot and set the stove onto about a medium heat. You know, give it a nice good toast. And so to that, you want to add your blackberries. I usually like to wash mine first because even in the grocery stores they get a little bit dusty. And so you also add your maple syrup to that. There we go. Get all that good flavor in there. Oops. And then next you want to add your vodka to it. All these flavors are going to cook down really nice together. There we go. Oh, gotta pull that one out of there. I did not check all of them well enough. Sometimes you gotta pick out the little stems. It's kind of weird. Alrighty. And so next, you want to just let that cook down. It takes about 5 minutes or so just to get the blackberries nice and tender to where it's easily mashable. Kind of break them up. Make a puree concentrate out of it. So just let that cook down for about 5 minutes or so until they're easily mashable, and then after that we'll add our lavender, let it boil for a minute more, and I'll show you what to do next. So just a little bit while we're waiting for our blackberries to cook down, I'm going to tell you why I chose to do this how-to project. A little bit about me. I am tip certified, and as a fun side hobby I went to bartending school just to have a fun trade in case I didn't want to do social work for a while or earn some extra money. And I really love mixing up new cocktails and dabbling in some mixology. So for this how-to project I thought it'd be a great chance for me to stretch my wings a little bit and show you guys one of the new cocktails I had been trying out. I really just love doing that kind of thing, and a lot of the local ingredients that I like to use are from local markets around Clarksville where I'm from. It's really fun because in the summer they have a lot of open markets on the weekends, so when I saw this was coming up I decided to venture out and meet some new people and grab some of the new fresh ingredients. And so the blackberries and the maple syrup are just going to add that nice fresh kick to it. And then also, for these cocktails, usually you can do sprigs of lavender in them, but today I'm going to use some mint because it really adds that nice fresh kick instead of too much of the lavender taste. So we just got a couple more minutes on our blackberries, and so after that we'll show you what's next. Alright, so now that we've let our blackberries cook down a little bit, it is time for the muddling, which is my favorite part because then you get to squish everything together. Alright, so let's find here in the drawer. So what I'm going to use to muddle the blackberries is kind of like a miniature potato masher. It's really cool. It's a nice little tool. So you just want to give those a good muddle. I usually like to try and get every one of the berries mashed pretty well. Not so much that you're kind of making like a soup now. You still want to have a little bit of those textures from the blackberries. Alright. And one of the interesting things about cooking with alcohol is that even like here, you're not going to have any of that alcohol adding to the champagne cocktail, because while we're cooking it, it's just to give it a little bit more flavor rather than add any alcohol content. Alright, so there we go. Now that those have a good mash on them, we are ready to add our lavender paste. So you just take the little spoon, I just like to add it right in there Using another spoon to get all that yummy flavor. There we go. Give that a little bit of a stir. Just like that. Awesome. So now, all that you have to do is just let it boil down for another minute. Let it thicken up. Because the worst thing to do in a champagne cocktail is to put a runny mixture in there, because then all it does is just mix in with it. It doesn't give that nice color gradient when you add the bubbly. So just let that cook down and boil for about a minute or two till it's nice and thick. Not too thick, because then it's going to be like a burnt flavor, but a nice little solid consistency. Alright, so just about a minute more on that one. Alright, and now here's the fun part. So now that it's cooked down a little bit and it's got a nice viscous to it, you're going to turn off the heat. There we go. And so just take like a measuring cup or something just so to set it aside and cool in so it doesn't like start to burn. So I just go ahead and do that. I wish you guys had smell cam because this smells delicious. Alright. There we go. So I'm just going to set that aside to let that cool for a minute. So now I'm going to take my new cup. It's so cute. And I got a straw here. So you're going to put it right in there just like that. Alright. So now while we're waiting for that to cool a little bit, I got my mint sprigs here. And you just want to find like a nice piece, probably with a little bit of a longer stalk, so that you can pop it off and just set it right in the cup. So I'm going to take about that one. I love the smell of mint. It's like the perfect summer smell for me. And did you know if you crush it in between your fingers, it just releases that whole nice smell for your entire house. Alright, so now we've also got our champagne here. This is one of my absolute favorite champagnes ever. So we're going to use that one. Have a little bit of fun with this drink. Alright. There we go. So, now you want about an inch in the bottom of the glass or so, just to give it that nice fruity texture and flavor. Now every cup doesn't have to be perfect, just about an inch at the bottom of the glass. Oh, I am so excited for this. Alright, now here's the absolute best part of this. You're going to take your bubbly and just pour it right in there. And look how it changes. And of course, with some good champagne, you've got to wait for the bubbles to settle down. There we go. Now, depending on if you use fresh lavender versus lavender paste, mine turns out a little bit more red because of the blackberries. But if you use fresh lavender, sometimes it turns out a little bit more purple with the fresh lavender. Ah, look at that. Perfect. So I'm just going to set my straw right in there. Pop a sprig of mint on top, and you are all set. Look at how delicious that is. Bet you guys are jealous. Alright, so let's give it a try. Definitely good. Alright, I'm so excited to have been able to show this to you guys. I hope you enjoy, and good luck with the rest of your videos.